Did you know that it takes about 2,700 liters of water to dye one single cotton t-shirt? We are developing cotton in different colors, which would save a huge amounts of water and would create green new sustainable materials, or red, or blue, or yellow.
You worked in the fashion industry all over the world, and probably the worst place for everyone that doesn't have an insight about the sector is Bangladesh. How was that experience, and how did that probably lead you to what you are doing now?
Yeah, well, my experience in Bangladesh, I was living there for 4 years, working, as you mentioned, for the fashion industry, and I saw many bad things in Bangladesh. Also, I saw a lot of very good things, particularly the fast fashion, the big players. They're very concerned about sustainability and traceability and also compliance. But the industry is so big that there are many things that are done wrongly. In a particular case of the cotton, I mean, the traceability of the raw material and also the transportation. I mean, cotton is landing in Bangladesh from locations like Brazil, US. We're talking about more than 15,000 nautic miles. The traceability and the trust of the certificates, they're fake. There's a lot of fake organic certificates. And for example, Xinjiang province, one of the largest cotton producers in the planet, the cotton grown there is banned in the US. You cannot export neither cotton, neither garments made in Xinjiang province into the United States. So I had a big exposure to the industry, particularly the supply chain, and there's many things that we have to do to fix it.
How did you end up in Bangladesh? What did you do there?
Yeah, well, I was working for a Spanish manufacturer. So today the fashion industry is not manufacturing their own garments anymore. They're subcontracting with manufacturers. In case of Bangladesh, most of the majority of the manufacturers, they're locals, but also there are some, international or foreign manufacturers. This is a Spanish manufacturer, and we were just basically making garments for mainly the fast fashion industry in Spain, but also we used to have some customers in Germany, in Denmark, Poland. So I was working for a Spanish manufacturer.
You set up a system to cultivate cotton in a more sustainable way, and to do it in Spain, and not. I mean, there you want to assemble production and the production of garments and the sewing industry or the fashion industry at one place. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so what happened is the fashion industry is split like in short-term circles and long-term circles. That means the production timing. You know, when you have small productions, then you produce close to the consumption location. For example, in Europe, when you're talking about short circles, you're talking about Tunisia, Morocco, Turkey, Egypt, and when you talk about the long circle, then you're talking about Far East Asia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. So the point is the premium and the luxury industry, they are producing here. They are not producing whatever luxury brand that you can have in mind. They are not producing garments in Bangladesh, neither Pakistan or any of those locations. We're talking about the fashion industry, the luxury industry that are selling a plain vanilla t-shirt for 1,000 euros. So they are not putting the reputation of the brand on risk producing there. So because those players are producing garments here, we say, hey, the first question in 2021 was, can we grow cotton in hydroponics, soilless, like tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis are being on the industry. I mean, that technology has been on an industrial phase for the last 4 or 5 decades, particularly in the Netherlands and in the US. Say, hey, can we do this on cotton? So we approached the Spanish National Research Center back in 21 to figure out if we could do that. And the answer is yes, it is possible. And it could be great to do this in Valencia in the case. So from Valencia to Geneva port, which is one of the main luxury raw material port in Europe, in Italy, we're talking about 3 days transit by boat. So the idea is, okay, let's focus on the luxury segment in this stage of the project, grow the cotton here and supply to the spinning industry, which is the industry that is making the yarn, very close location. I mean, customers can fly from Germany in 3 hours.
So you're just thinking about the high-end industry. You're not thinking about um, growing sustainable cotton for fast fashion industry.
I really appreciate this question because this is one of the biggest misunderstanding of the project. We want to grow cotton to everybody in this planet, period. The point here is right now, hydroponic technology is not a cheap technology, right? So because it's not a cheap technology, you cannot be focused on the mass market. It's like I also mentioned about it's like Tesla, right? I mean, Tesla, if you want to have an electrical vehicle a decade ago, 5 years ago, was not at 10, 12,000 euros, right? It's more expensive. So the strategy that we're following is like, let's tackle the luxury segment, which is not that price sensitive, but more quality sensitive. And eventually, once the industry, the raw material, the construction material, the irrigation materials, the price is slow down and we increase the yield, then we can start tackling different segments. And when we say tackling different segments, that means that eventually we're totally open to start building greenhouses in all those markets like Pakistan, India, China, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, whatever is the garments production located.
But you have greenhouses already implemented in Valencia, no? Right?
Yeah. So
So you are growing this cotton already, this hydro cotton. Do you have clients already?
Yes, we have. We have. I cannot disclose the name because
Mention.
we signed all those contracts, those big contracts with the lawyers, and I would be more than happy to disclose the name because you know all of them for sure. But the only thing that I can tell you is they're located in the UK, France, Switzerland, and we are very close to close a deal with a luxury brand in Germany.
Okay. Okay.
And
Interesting.
they are
And
very
you say we, it's not just you, it's a team of how many engineers you're working on the project? How many?
it's a lot of. I mean, when we talk about the Magtech team, we are only two founders involved directly in this, but we are working with many researchers in multiple fields. I mean, now we are going to launch a small project with the Polytechnic University here in Valencia, in which we want to answer the question is, can we grow cotton just using wastewater? I understand that growing tomatoes with wastewater could be a big dilemma, right? I mean, you eat the tomatoes and wastewater to grow tomatoes. But in our case, these are fibers that we are not going to use, right? So that is a small project. 2024, we're building a 2,125 square meter facility here in Picasen in Valencia. And this greenhouse is going to be integrated with photovoltaic, that we are looking for an energy source that is sustainable and very stable in terms of supply and also in the price. And also in 2024, we're going to have another greenhouse, 1,000 square meter in Murcia. So 2024, we're going to be running like 3,125 square meter greenhouse. All the cotton that we're going to produce in those two facilities already sold out. We sold all the cotton that we're going to harvest next year. I mean, I was very surprised that the luxury segment was very eager to have a very premium quality located here. And by the way, we didn't get a single customer here in Spain. I'm very sad, but 2021 we were approaching the fast fashion.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. And in Valencia you have the whole supply chain. I mean, you have grow the cotton and then you produce garment with cotton, or where is the garment produced?
We are not in that level yet. So this year we are shipping, by the end of this year, we're shipping all the cotton to Milan, to Italy. where in Italy they were doing the yarn, and they will do the fabric, and they will make the garments. This is the first year that we are, because for the previous 2 years we were producing multiple varieties of cotton. So we were trying to figure out what, because there's more than 1,000 cotton varieties available. So we're trying multiple varieties. So we didn't produce a lot of quality for each variety. But this year, 2023, and on those proof of concept, we are very focused on one variety that we saw is the yield and the quality is very tentative in terms of growing in hydroponics. And by the end of this year, we will start making garments with this cotton.
Okay, we would, with your system, we would save water. We would use less chemicals.
Yeah, this is
And of course, no fertilizers used, no?
nothing. So the good part here is like what we see is like during August is when you have in terms of the peak level of water consumption, right? Because it's the middle of the growing natural growing campaign in the North Hemisphere. So August is very water intensive because plants are absorbing a lot of water because of the high temperatures. But this is just a peak on August. So with the numbers that we have in terms of water consumption, even if we consume water at August level, we are reducing like 50% water input compared to soil base. But August is just only a peak, it's 1 month. So before August and after August, the water consumption is lower. So even that, the water consumption is much lower. And in terms of yield, we have moved it in the laboratory. We harvest more than 1.24 kilograms per plant, where the average yield per plant on soil base, we're talking about 30 grams, 20 to 30 grams. So yes, you are getting more yield. You are reducing water, but also you are reducing minerals, the nutrients that the plant absorb. In terms of fertilizers, in terms of pesticides, there's nothing like we don't use those chemicals in the greenhouse because.
Are you the only ones doing that, or?
Nope, we are not the only crazy guys in the planet. There's another 3 guys. I think there are 3 or 4 guys in the UK, in Materra, which they have been on this like a year before us. We didn't copy them. People were saying you copied Materra. We are not. We just started by ourselves, and when we were doing some research about who was doing something like we thought we were alone, but we were happily surprised that we find that there was more people over there doing this. So Materra is probably the leading one in terms of raising capital. They raised 4.5 million from H&M Venture Capital and Bestseller last year. But the case of Materra, they moved it to India, which are more focused on fast fashion, cotton quality, and more volume.
I was just thinking about that. If they're from the UK, they must be Pakistani or Indians. Yeah, because.
Well, I cannot. I mean, I cannot mention about their strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not stupid. They raise a lot of money, but we think the focus right now should be where the technology is available. Remember that this is not only a hydroponic cotton technology, but it's a hydroponic technology as a whole. I mean, similar technology that the industry using to grow tomatoes or to grow strawberries is very similar to the technology and the resources that we're using to grow cotton. So, but the knowledge is here in Europe and North America. Of course, you have some people in South Korea, Japan, and also Australia and New Zealand. But I mean, if you go to the Netherlands, the Wageningen University, that's crazy. And if you go to UC Davis in California, but those guys are doing terrific things, not only in plant nutrition, not only in greenhouses setup, but also they're working in harvesting. I mean, the robotization of those greenhouses and digitalization of the greenhouse is growing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how the technology is evolving, and we are learning and we are bringing that technology in our greenhouses.
Sounds great. Sounds that agriculture becomes more and more a tech sector as well. And that we probably the romantic idea that we have about agriculture, we can say goodbye soon. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, people is saying that the conventional farming will be around forever. I'm not that convinced. I mean, if you see the number from Eurostat, in the average age of farmers in the European Union, I think is 62 years old. And the worst part is like the next generation. I mean, the
yeah,
kids of the current farmers, they don't want to. I mean, they're telling
yeah,
their parents,
yeah,
listen,
yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
working very hard.
Yeah,
You know,
it's too dedicated, and as well with the climate change, I think it's more and more difficult to go on with the traditional agriculture. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day and all the best. And yeah, I
thank you
mean,
very much,
the
Stefania.
biggest, the most money is moved where they make like this in India,
Well,
you know?
yeah, we really appreciate your time today, and I hope people start. Our biggest point here is like people start thinking and learning about what is hydroponic and how this technology is going to change the way we eat agricultural products and the way we dress with natural fibers.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank
And
you very much.
consuming less. That's also my consuming less is a big one as well. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.